Alright, this is Henry again, and this is part 1 of my review of the Master Grade Wing Gundam Verka. So this is a kit that people have been wanting me to review forever and ever, and finally I'm getting around to it. So anyway, like I said earlier, and you saw the box and everything, this is the Kotoki version, the Verka, meaning that this is different from the EW version. In the Kotoki version, the colors are slightly different. You've got this kind of orangey yellow, and the white is kind of a cream off-white. Whereas on the EW version, it's going to be a brighter yellow, it's going to be a pure white for the white parts, and the red and blue are pretty much the same. Also on this version, you've got kind of a brownish gray for the inner frame and joint parts. Now on the EW version, it'll be a straight-up normal gray. Also, the EW version comes with, I believe, 2 action-based connectors, and let's see, what else was it? I think that was it, aside from just a different box art. And they come with pretty much the same decals, although I think the decals are slightly different between the 2 versions, but they're more or less the same. Anyway, with this one, you obviously get a Master Grade Wing Gundam Verka. You also get a very large buster rifle that's even taller than the mobile suit itself. You get a shield, very nice looking. You get 2 storage racks for extra energy packs for the buster rifle. And these can actually be mounted onto the forearms, and each one holds 3 energy cartridges. You get a beam saber with 2 clear green blades, even though Wing Gundam only has 1 beam saber. They, I guess, just gave you the 2 blades just because it already came on run number 2. So you'll have 1 left over. Get 2 small figures of Hero Yui, 1 standing, 1 inside the cockpit. And you get some stickers and decals. You get a small sheet of foil stickers, mainly just for the eyes and the various cameras that are on the kit. You get a sheet of dry transfer decals. These large ones will be going on the wings, that goes on the shield, and then just some various marking decals. And then a large sheet of clear stickers for the rest of the caution markings. And this is one of those kits where you're really going to want to use the water slides, because these clear stickers and the way Kotoki designs his decals just aren't going to cut it. So pretty much any Verka Master Grade, you're going to want to try and find the water slide decals if you can find them. Not always as easy as you would think it would be, but I'll get into that later in part 2. By the way, this kit is completely unpainted at the moment, so this is what it's going to look like snapped together straight out of the box with no paint, no panel lines, no decals, just straight up plastic colors right here. But don't worry, we'll get to see the painted version in part 2. So, anyway, let's go ahead and start with articulation. So, starting at the head, you've got a ball joint for the neck. It'll go up and down. Not going to go side to side very much because obviously you've got these fins and then these machine cannons on the shoulders. And then there's another joint at the base of the neck that'll go forward and back some more. For the shoulders, they can go out about that far. The shoulder arm is kind of finicky, and I also find that it's quite loose, very loose actually. It comes out and goes down like that for the transformation, but I think Bandai could have made that a little bit tighter. But anyway, you've got a joint that'll come forward about that far, and that's about as far as it's going to go. Not quite as far as it is on the more recent EW Master Grades. So, arm comes out to there, 360 below the shoulder. You got double jointed elbows that'll bend pretty much a full 180. You've got the old style Master Grade hands, ball joint wrist, ball joint thumb, and then the 3 fingers and the index finger are separate. Also, you've got a little bit of articulation right here. These 2 little yellow fins can go up and down, although it didn't really function for much of anything. Anyway, the torso actually has pretty good articulation. You've got a double ball joint in the torso, so it can bend forward, and it's actually got a little area of inner detail between the armor panels, even though it's molded in red. If you were to paint that gray, it would actually look pretty nice. So it can go forward really far, it can go back a little bit, side to side. Can't rotate 360, but he rotates about that far to each side. Let's see, the side skirts are on a peg and polycap, so they can go up and down and rotate. Front skirts are on ball joints, so you got no problems there. The back skirts move together. They're not separate, they move together, but they do go up and down. The hips are on a ball joint, and they can go up and as far as the front skirts will let them. They can go out about that far and then back as far as the back skirts will let them, so pretty good hip mobility. Got double jointed knees that'll go pretty much a full 180. As you can see, the knee armor will separate from the lower leg. Although I find they kind of do their own thing. They just kind of float around, which sometimes can be, you know, a pain, but if you get it in just the right position, it'll look pretty nice. But again, the knees are actually, I think, like triple jointed for the transformation, but again, I'll get into that more in part 2. For the ankles, you got a double ball joint. You got a ball joint up here at the bottom of the leg, and then you got a ball joint down at the foot. So that's going to be able to go forward and back, and actually doesn't really rotate all that much, although you can get it pretty far out to each side. You won't really need to go any further than that anyway. And then nice side-to-side movement. This whole front ankle armor is separate, and that's just on a polycap. For the foot, you've actually got a single joint in the foot. It doesn't go up at all. I mean, right here is as far up as it's going to go, but it does bend down, and that's part of the transformation, so I know it doesn't really do all that much in robot mode, but it does bend down that far. For the wings, the backpack can actually kind of go in and out, but again, that's more for the transformation. The wings can go up that far. This little piece right here actually moves, and down like so. And then you've got a joint right there that'll rotate 360. The wings can go back, and obviously they're not going to go forward because the arms are in the way. And that's pretty much it. The actual wing itself doesn't have any articulation in it. It's just one solid piece, even though it's made out of several pieces. But anyway, I think that just about does it for articulation. Oh, forgot the cockpit hatch. I always forget the cockpit hatch. Anyway, cockpit hatch is actually kind of tricky to get open. You have to like slide this whole thing out. There we go. It's not tricky to get open, it's just tricky to get a grip on it because there's nothing to really grab onto. But anyway, the whole thing slides out, even the little camera on the front slides out like so. Just like that. And you'll see a little Hero Yui sitting in the cockpit there. So, that about does it for part 1 of the Master Grade Wing Gundam Verka review. And just make sure to come back for part 2. We'll go over the weapons, accessories, transformation. I'll show off the inner frame a little bit, and we'll get to see the kit painted, decaled, and everything, and make it look nice. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.